right, good morning, everyone. We are starting our third week of virtual preschool, and I'm very excited about it. This week, we're going to be talking about where you live and what kind of home you live in. So let's do the calendar first. Let's do the days of the week. The last day of school we had was Thursday, then Friday, which is a 4's class day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today is Tuesday. So we'll put the frog up there on Tuesday. The month name is still September, but the next time that we do circle time, it will be the next month called October. Let's count the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and that number 22 is hiding under there. Remember, that was the first day of fall. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, which was yesterday and a 4's class day. Today is going to be number 29. And let's see here, we have school bus, and today is a school. So today is Tuesday, September 29th, and remember that like I just said, last week we went from the season of summer to the season of fall. So I moved our little arrow over just a little bit at the end of September when fall starts. All right, so let's see here. So what we are talking about this week is homes and houses and where people live. And that is what our book is about today. In our little mystery envelope with our big question mark on it, I'm going to pull out our book really slowly. Let's see what it's going to be about. Oops, I dropped it. What it's going to be about. So it says, where do you live? And you can see on the front cover, it has pictures of different places people live. There's some row houses here. Back here, there's some high-rise apartment buildings and other kinds of tall buildings. So this book talks about different places that people live, because none of us live in the same place, right? We all live in different places and in different kinds of homes and houses. So let's see here. Where do you live? And these kids, if you don't know, are standing on top of a drawing on the ground of the United States map. Because that's where we live. We live in the United States. I live on Franklin Avenue. There is a stop sign across the street from my house. My school is in the next block. I like to play with my neighborhood friends on the school playground. Let's find out where other people live. And you can see right here, there's a map drawn of the neighborhood where this person lives. Dan's house is north of an airport. He can see planes from other cities and states come and go every day. That would be pretty neat. Juan lives in an apartment building in New York City. His apartment is on the 18th floor. He can see the Statue of Liberty from his living room window. Wow. So he lives way up high in a tall apartment building. And you can see there's another map that somebody drew right there of that, where that person lives. Emily lives in Washington, D.C. It is the capital of our country. The President of the United States lives here, too. This is his house, so that's the White House. Adam lives at the shore in Florida. He can see the ocean from his house. So some people live near the White House in Washington, D.C., which is also a home, and some people live on the water in Florida. Sarah lives on a farm in Wisconsin. Her family raises corn and alfalfa. Victor lives in Illinois. His house is along the Mississippi River. He can see barges and tankers go by. Eric lives in Pierre, South Dakota. Pierre is the state's capital city. Eric can see the Capitol building from his back porch. So there's the Capitol building that he can see. Abby lives in Colorado. Her house is in the mountains near a valley. She can see pine trees from her bedroom windows. There's all the pine trees and the mountains. April lives in New Mexico. Her house is a pueblo. The land around her pueblo is desert. Mylan lives in California. She lives north of the Golden Gate Bridge. That's the Golden Gate Bridge. She can see the city of San Francisco across the bay. Kobe lives in Hawaii. He lives on the island of Kauai. It is very wet where Kobe lives. Kieran lives close to a harbor on the coast of Alaska. His family runs a fishing boat. People live in many different kinds of places. Cooper, Colorado, San Francisco, California, Reading, Pennsylvania, New Orleans, Louisiana. How are these places different? How are they alike? So some of them have neighborhood streets. Some of them have lots of houses packed together. Some of them are row houses that are separate houses, but they share walls. And this one looks like it's out in the country with lots of space to run around. Where do you live? And when you do your small group this week with me, we're going to talk a little bit about where you live. So you'll get a chance to tell me something about where you live. So I'm going to put this back in our little bag there, our little mystery bag. All right, so I have some new things to share with you today that came in your packet. So this one actually didn't have anything in your packet. I sent directions with your mom and dad in an email. You're going to ask your mom or dad if they have some magazines, like we did last week. If they have some magazines you can look through and cut pictures out of. You have to ask first, though. Don't just go grab their magazines, all right? So we're going to look through this magazine and find pictures of things that you would find in a house. Now, it doesn't have to be something that is in your house or the same thing that's in your house. It just has to be something that you might find in somebody's house. So I'm going to look through here and find some pictures of things we find in a house. Oh, here's a good one. Here's several things, but there's a lamp. Lots of people have lamps in their houses. Now, the trick that I have for cutting pictures out of magazines is to first tear the whole page out, because that makes it easier to cut. Then remember how we hold scissors. Remember I showed you this before. Thumb always goes up and it's in the top small section. Your two other fingers are on the bottom section. Remember, you always hold your scissors with your thumb up. You don't hold them like this. You don't hold them with two hands, only with your thumb up, all right? So we're going to cut this picture out with our thumb up. Cut right around this lamp. And I'm using my helper hand to hold the paper and help to turn it. And then we're going to use our glue stick to glue it down. All right, so there is my lamp. And I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to find a couple more pictures. There's my lamp glued on there. A lamp is something you find in a house. Let's see, what else is neat in here that you find in a house? Here we go. There's a coffee table right there. You might have a coffee table in your living room. So I'm going to tear that page out so it's easier to cut again. And use my scissors with my thumb up and my helper hand to hold the paper and cut around this coffee table. Then I'm going to turn it over upside down, put some glue on the back, and glue it down on my paper. So now I have a lamp and a coffee table, both things that you can find in a house. I'm going to find one more thing. You can find as many things as you want. Let's see. What's a good thing here? Oh, here we go. There's a vacuum cleaner. Most of us have a vacuum cleaner at our house. So I'm going to tear that page out. Use my scissors with my thumb up, and I'm going to cut out one of these vacuum cleaners. Many people have a vacuum cleaner at their house. And then I will put glue on the back again. And I'm going to glue, let's see, this one's going to have to kind of go sideways on here. Glue the vacuum on my paper. And you can keep going if you want to keep finding more things you find in your house. And then remember, we're making sure that we write our name on our paper, even though we're not at school. So you can write it yourself if you know how, or have your mom or dad write it in yellow to trace, or they can write it for you. All right? In your take-home packet this week, you had a little baggie with some paper shapes in it. And you can use these shapes to build a house on a piece of paper. So I have a piece of paper here. I'm going to take my shapes out, spread them out so I can see what shapes I have. So I'm going to show you some small orange rectangles, some orange squares, some long green rectangles, some wider purple rectangles, and some yellow triangles. And I'm going to use these things to make a house. So let me think now. I don't want your house to look like the one I make. I want your house to look different from mine. I want it to be unique. So I'm going to decide how I'm going to build my house here with these shapes. I'm using these long green rectangles first. Then I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this orange rectangle for a door. And if you need to cut pieces to make them the way you want, you can do that too. It's fine with me. If you want to add different things with crayons or markers or colored pencils, if you want to draw on it, it's fine too. Add a little roof with these triangles. All right, and let's see here. I'm going to put this little rectangle, I'm going to put a shed next to my house where I keep all my my lawnmower and my weed whacker and all that stuff over here in this shed. All right, and then I'm also gonna make sure to write my name. Yes, Mika. And there is my house that I made out of shapes. And yours will look different. I would love to see pictures of them if your mom and dad want to take a picture of the house that you made. That would be great. I'm gonna put the rest of my shapes back in here. All right. So that is what I have for you today. I'm going to see some of you in just a little bit for small group time, and we'll talk about where we live. And I will show you the rest of our activities from our take-home packet on Thursday. All right, so see everyone later. Bye.